Welcome to the first episode of Can ChatGPT Help Me Accurately Diagnose and Fix My Broken BMW? So this is the same BMW that I have on my channel that I posted a detailing video about. Just a brief rundown of what this car is. It's a 2010 335i. It is N54 powered. It is a stock turbo car, but it is full bolt-on, so it has intakes, downpipes, charge pipe, intercooler, outlets, and inlets. Right now, the main factor of why it is broken is me. I don't actually drive this car very much. I purchased the car in November of 2023, and it had about 72,000 miles on it. Right now, the odometer's a little over 83,000 miles on it. So in 2 years, I've put just barely over 10,000 miles on the car. Recently, it's actually been having issues. The majority of my ownership, it's given me zero issues. Partially, actually 100% of it is my fault. So I think I'm just a regular old N54 owner that likes to beat it up and not really take care of it. No, actually not so accurate. But there was a couple things that I definitely could have avoided and should have done better to avoid where we are at this point. First thing that's actually wrong with the car, the clutch is pretty much probably holding on to nothing at this point. Few short months after I purchased the car, the tires were a little low in the rear, so I was doing a lot of like really harsh first gear launches, and I tried to get my girlfriend to do it, and instead of, it's not her fault, but instead of waiting for first gear to catch after spinning the tires, she just shifted second, third, fourth, and then a real bad odor came in the cab. Clutch straight up smoked it, and then me being an idiot told her, go ahead and do that one more time. Bruh. And sure enough, she did it the exact same way. I was hoping she would do it the way I did it, but she just shifted through the gears. More bad odor came in the cab. We looked down in the engine bay, and we can see a lot of smoke pouring out from the bell housing where it mounts to the back of the engine. So the clutch got smoked pretty early on in the ownership. It got real gooey when that happened, and it felt real soft. And then a few days later, it ended up stiffening back up a little bit, but I knew it probably took a significant amount of life off of it from that incident. That is not the same exact issue that we're dealing with now, what we're going to try to get the chat to help us fix. But just to clarify, the clutch is definitely a problem on this car. The main issue we're dealing with today is you'd never guess it considering it's an N54 car, but it's a misfire. I know, it doesn't make any sense. How could an N54 ever misfire? However, we're going to see if the ChatGPT can help us diagnose and potentially fix the misfire. So one big thing that I did wrong, the guy that I bought this car from, I forgot to mention part of the modifications that are done to the car as far as performance-wise is a Cobb off-the-shelf tuner. So it came with a little tuner, plug it into the OBD port, you can map, flash the car, change maps, and you can, troubleshoot the car, run codes, clear codes, things like that. So I used the tune maps that he told me to use, and one of them was definitely not supposed to be used on a stock twin turbo car, and it was meant for single turbo converted cars. Well, there's like 30 maps on that little app, and me being lazy and ignorant, I didn't feel like figuring out what each of those was actually for. I knew it was a 93 octane. I wasn't trying to run ethanol in the car. I was just running a pump map on the car, and it's 93 octane. It was the aggressive tune, and I drove it really hard, and could have potentially worn the turbos out earlier than they could have lasted. So at this point, the car definitely isn't driven that much. We just recently moved, and right before we moved, we went to a local meet at North Raleigh Performance in Raleigh, North Carolina. And as I was leaving in front of all the enthusiasts taking photos and videos, I tried to do a little rolling first gear hit and missed shift to second, and it was really loud and revved high, and you know, definitely missed the shift there.
Embarrassing.
I'll just say driver error. You know, I don't have driver mod. Anyways, so after that point, the car built essentially no boost, and you know, regular old 30FF codes, whole deal. So we're going to address the turbos and try to diagnose what the boost situation is on a later date. But for now, we're going to be chasing this misfire. So right after that instance, I didn't really drive the car pretty much at all. It maybe has 50 miles on the car since that incident happened, and it's been running really rough, idling rough. Obviously, builds no boost. We'll address that later. But essentially, we're going to use ChatGPT to see how, if it can accurately diagnose and track down the culprit to the misfire. So what we're going to do is a ignition coil test. We're going to swap the ignition coil that's on cylinder 1 to the ignition coil on cylinder 2, and then swap number 2 to 1. If the misfire chases the coil, as in it moves from cylinder 1 to cylinder 2, then we'll know it's a coil issue. If not, we're going to go to the spark plugs according to the chat. So I'm going to follow exactly the steps that it provides and see where we end up. All right, the time has come to now do the ignition coil test. So the first thing we're going to do is take out ignition coil 1. The first ignition coil, which would be on cylinder 1, is the closest to the front of the car, closest to the radiator. So like you saw, pop this front tab up, connector will slide out, and then we're going to do a back and forth left to right movement, pull straight out. There goes coil 1 removed. Now what we're going to do is same thing, tab up, connector will slide out, left to right, ignition tool 2. So now just pulled number 2 out. Go ahead and put it in place of number 1. Connector in. Lock it in. Ignition coil from cylinder 1. Install the connector, clamp it down. All right, that's it. Now we're going to clear the code, start the car, and really get the answer. Now that we are inside the car, can insert the key. Then we're going to turn accessories on. So do not start the car, just accessories on. I'm going to go into the tuner here, troubleshooting. We're going to go ahead and clear the codes. Codes have been cleared. We're going to go ahead and turn the key back off. And we're going to wait about 10 to 15 seconds, and we're going to start the car and then see how it runs. All right, we've waited the time. We're going to go ahead and start the car and see how it acts. Wait for it to idle down. Definitely a misfire present. I'll go ahead and check the codes, see what we're reading. All right, we're gonna get a few minutes and see if anything pops up. I'm gonna let it idle here for a bit. I'm filming this like a week after the rest of this video, and I didn't do things exactly right because I didn't even give clips, sound clips of the misfire. It was definitely misfiring. Also, the coil swap didn't actually do anything because the misfire came back on cylinder 1, so it looks like a fouled spark plug could be the issue. So I have plugs on the way right now, and that's going to be the next video, spark plugs. So that's good that we get to continue the series and see if ChatGPT can continue to help me with this broken BMW. Also, I was doing a little bit of driving testing, and a whole bunch of codes popped up, ABS codes and brake codes, hydraulic pressure sensor, and all this stuff. So it looks like this is just the car that keeps on giving, and we ain't gonna run out of content anytime soon. So it's a good thing that my car keeps breaking. For content's sake, it's a good thing my car keeps breaking. So I just had to come in and make this little snippet because I realized when I was editing the video that I forgot some key components, as in no audio misfire, never told you whether the coil actually fixed the problem or not. It did briefly read, no misfires, but inevitably it came back and continues to misfire on cylinder 1. So definitely have something else going on there. I am aware that it doesn't take artificial intelligence to track down a misfire by starting with the ignition coils. I just thought it would be something interesting to do. Like I mentioned earlier, I was running this car with the wrong tune because I took the original owner's word for it and didn't do my own research. And I was a little worried that something bigger might be wrong. So I figured I'd start with the correct way to diagnose things and start with a misfire. Like I said, no boost right now. We'll address that in the next one. As far as what we figured out today, we'll go ahead and take that part stored junk that's installed on the car, take those out, get some actually good ignition coils, and then check the spark plugs while I'm in there, because I haven't checked them and I've owned the car for 2 years. So typical N54 owner for you. Not doing my maintenance, not doing what I'm supposed to do, but I think that's how you're supposed to do it. But anyways, so appreciate you guys for watching. If you're an E9X lover like me, definitely definitely subscribe. I'm gonna try to bring you guys some more content on this car. Maybe one day we can do the big fabulous single turbo build with the built bottom end and the ported head and the port injection manifold and all the beautiful fancy things that come along with a 750 wheel horsepower E90 N54. So appreciate you guys. Catch you in the next one.